Hey yo guys, I'm here to give you my TNA Genesis pay-per-view predictions as well as my review of New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom 3, which took place last weekend from the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan. And, well, we may as well get to the predictions for TNA Genesis, which takes place tonight from the Bojangles Colisium in Charlotte, North Carolina. Gotta say, this pay-per-view, you know what, the matches they've hyped up really well, and they're the important matches, which, you know, you can't hate on TNA. The impact's building to this, you know, majority of them have not been, you know, the greatest thing ever, but the go-home, which is the one you always want to sell the most, I think they did a fantastic job of selling, you know, the match I think that should be the main event if it's not in Kurt Angle and Jeff Jarrett. I mean, Christ, for all the impacts that we've seen going into this pay-per-view, that's been the most hyped match. Really looking forward to that, and I thought Foley did a fantastic promo going into the end of Impact last week, and I believe Jarrett cut a strong promo as well. And I thought a couple of matches on there were really good. The only thing I can gripe about is the fact that there was a tag team title switch with Jay Lethal and Consequences Creed defeating Beer Money for the TNA Tag Team Championships, which I just think sucks, as I think Beer Money did a fantastic job getting those belts back. So much credibility, which they had lost, really, those belts hadn't had in a very, very long time. I believe, actually, no, since, to me, yeah, a very long time, I should say. But yeah, let's get to this predictions here. I do have some breaking news, sort of, with this. TNA has added a match tonight, and they've added a 8-man elimination bout featuring Eric Young, Shark Boy, and LAX teammate to take on Cute Kip, Kiyoshi, someone else, and the returning Raven. Now, Raven, to me, clearly is just someone they're bringing in for a one-shot deal. I don't know if they're going to try and re-sign him to a contract, keep using him full-time. I really don't see what else would be in there for Raven. Would they put him in the main event Mafia? I don't know. Or they put him in the Frontline, maybe, because, you know, the Frontline would seem to have a lot of the old ECW guys. Hey, it'd be great for the Frontline to cut, you know, promos, much better than Rhino cutting the promos. But Raven makes his first return to TNA since, you know, he left in March of last year. And I believe, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, this is Raven's first pay-per-view match since Bound for Glory 2007, when he was in the Monsters Ball match. But anyways, my thoughts on this match would probably be the babyface obviously winning here. Depends who's the other person. Right now I'm thinking it's going to be Sanjay Dutt, unless they bring someone else who I am not aware of at the moment. But I would still go with the team of Eric Young, Shark Boy, and LAX to get the win just for a number of reasons. One, Eric Young's been getting a pretty strong push as of late. Two, you have LAX, who has both the world title shot and the X Division title shot, so you want to keep those guys strong. And Shark Boy is someone who Mick Foley likes a lot of the work out of, as he made mention on an interview with Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez on a recent edition of Wrestling Observer Radio. So they're going to definitely get the win there. I mean, to me, the pin will either go to if it's Sanjay Dutt or if they bring someone else, but to me the person who gets pinned the most is going to be Kiyoshi, which is the same as Akira Raijan's actually got. You know, he's playing a rip-off of Muda, but, you know, he's doing okay there. I don't know if it's going to be the best career move for him to go from, you know, All Japan to come over here to TNA to do you know, to do this job. Since, you know, All Japan isn't becoming TNA as a working relationship. But then again, he's really spent more of his time in North America working, you know, in Chikara and Juggalo Championship Wrestling. So, anyways, but that's my thoughts there. Then we move over to the next match, which is the Grudge Match, as referee Sewell takes on Shiek Abdul Bashir. Really, I think this match would be a good match, as if you haven't seen Sewell, he's been one of the top, you know, baby faces in IWA Puerto Rico for a very long time. He still works there. And, yeah, anyways. To me, this match will be good. I think, you know, Shiek Abdul Bashir is going to bring it a lot since, you know, in his last couple matches, he hasn't been anything, you know, with true significance. Now he's got something with, you know, a real significance that I guess can get to a blow-off here. Sewell will definitely bring it as well. My only gripe here is got to the match with, you know, they fired Shane Sewell for 2 days only to bring him back to be a wrestler. I just thought if that was to be in like the real world, like if you're at your job, they fire you to bring you into another position. That's just fucking stupid. I mean, wouldn't they just advance you? Shouldn't they have just said, we understand why you did this, and now we're gonna get the match. It's gonna be settled once and for all, so we don't have to have this. Instead, no, you're gonna be fired from that position, and then you're gonna go there. Whatever. That's just my thoughts there. But I think it'll be a good match, and I don't know. I think this could be the blow-off. I'll go with Shane Sewell getting the win. That's where I'm gonna have to go. Shane Sewell getting the win. Then the next match is the TNA Knockouts Championship match, where you have Awesome Kong defending against what was supposed to be Christy Hemme, but Christy Hemme has suffered a severe neck injury. Discs have been injured in her neck, so she's not going to be working this card. Apparently the replacement, the standby wrestler, is Taylor Wilde, which to me says, you know what, it's going to be okay. These ladies have put on, you know, okay and, you know, passable matches, but really, I don't know if we really need to put a lumberjack match. I don't think people are going to be really upset if this match, which you've been advertising, changes a stipulation, because Chris Sammy isn't there, and, you know, a lumberjack match that I thought, even though you built it up that it was important on the TV, I didn't think you needed it. And anyways, I'll definitely pick Awesome Kong to win. Then we go to the next match, which is the finals of the X Division tournament. You have Chris Sabin versus Alex Shelley. To me, this match should be a really good match. Should let both guys, you know, give this time. Both guys will showcase what they can do. Prediction, though, first of all, I gotta say, hopefully TNA doesn't, you know, start to break up here. Hopefully, you know, the match just brings them closer together and just proves that, you know, that they're so good as a singles, and then as a tag team they get some more tag title shots. But I'd have to go with Alex Shelley getting the win, simply because Alex Shelley is the better talker of the group. He can be a great heel, saying, you know, Foley, you tried to hold Motor City Machine Guns down, but more me mainly, you know, had to maybe wear the turkey suit, etc., etc., and now I'm the X Division champion. That's where I with that. Also, hopefully, both guys bring out the IWGP Junior Tag Team Championship belts, as, you know, they just recently won them at Wrestle Kingdom 3, as I will get to in a minute or so. But I think that's going to be good and overall, so I don't think there's going to be a breakup angle, as you'd have to bring the team over to New Japan to defend the belts a couple times. But I'm expecting this to be a really good match, and prediction will be Alex Shelley. Then the next match is now a triple threat TNA Tag Team Championships, and is now Jay Lethal and Consequences Creed versus Beer Money Incorporated versus Matt Morgan and the Monster Abyss. Really, all I gotta say is thank God Jay Lethal and Consequences Creed are in the match. I'm disappointed that they were now the tag team champions. If I were them, I would have, you know, had them cash it in on, we're gonna say, go on Impact, cut a promo after the match, then we're gonna cash this in there. They go in the match then, and then we get them in the match that way instead of having a title change, which I don't like going into a pay-per-view. Because you want to have, I would have here, the heels want to be super strong going into a match where there's two babyface teams. But anyways, with that said, clearly most of the work's going to be between Beer Money and Jay Lethal and Consequences Creed. I think, you know, they're going to do most of the work. Abyss will probably get in there and do some power stuff, and if anything, that gets worked over, as that was one of my complaints in the last pay-per-view Final Resolution, the Impact version. Morgan will probably come in and clean house, but Beer Money, will probably get the pin on him and get the tag titles back, as they're about to make their debut in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So I would have them come over with the TNA belts as well. Anyways, then we move over to the next match, which is Mick Foley's in-ring return, I should say, as it's going to be the Frontline members of AJ Styles, Brother Devon, and the returning Mick Foley versus the main event Mafia members in Booker T, Scott Steiner, and Kevin Nash. I gotta say, the promos that Foley has done has really sold this match, and even some of the promo work, you know, not really a lot of the promo work from Scott Steiner, but some of his work has been pretty good here. I'm expecting this to be, you know what, a much better match than expected. I like he's back in a six-man, as he really can't do that much singles at this moment. It's definitely going to happen down the line, maybe down the line with Kurt Angle. I think that's going to happen, which is going to suck for Foley, as, you know, at the pace and Angle works, but still, I think that's going to come down the line. But this match, you know, is fine, especially with someone like Nash, who clearly needs to only work in multi-man tag matches, or tag matches and multi-man tag matches. Really, my prediction will be, you gotta have Foley will probably get the win, because it's Foley in his return. His team needs to win, and the Frontline gets a victory that they need. Probably if anyone's going to get pinned, it's going to be Steiner, so that's how I would see this one going. Foley will probably pin Steiner. Then we go to the next match, which is the match I think that needs to be the main event, and that's Jeff Jarrett versus Kurt Angle. Really strong build. Still not a big fan of the use of the kids references, but still, in the long run, I guess it turned out well for, BG James cutting a good promo and leading to a very good match with Kurt Angle on Impact last week. And, it's just added something, some fire to the match there. I think, these guys will definitely top the performance at Bound for Glory, as at that point they were just trying to test each other out, get used to their styles there. This could be a much better match than that. Jarrett's probably going to go all out. To me, though, I think they'll have Jarrett become overcome by rage of what the stuff Angle's been saying. He'll get disqualified. They'll have to bring Foley out to stop him from beating up on Angle. And that's going to lead to a match probably down the line at Lockdown, which will be the final blow-off, as no one can interfere, none of the factions come in, and there's going to be no DQs. So that's where I'm there. Kurt Angle by DQ. And the main event of this, so far on paper, the main event of this pay-per-view is the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Sting versus the War Machine Rhino. Really, I'm very disappointed that this could be the main event. There has been, such build for this match, and if this is the main event, wow. Really, I think this match could be okay, but I'm not really looking for it. I mean, I didn't think Rhino back on, the last Impact, maybe in November, put on that great of a match, but still, I mean, this match no one even knows the reason for this match, really. It's the fact that Rhino got a pinfall over Sting on an Impact a long time ago, but still, not going to be the greatest match ever, and I'm not expecting anything spectacular here. Sting definitely keeps the title. Anyways, so that's my thoughts on this pay-per-view. It should be good for a couple of matches, and it'll be interesting to see Raven make his return. Anyways, let's move over here to my review of Wrestle Kingdom 3 from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Gotta say, this show was really good. I've seen some other reviews. I don't agree with 9.5, which is making it the almost perfect show. That's just my opinion. I don't think it's that high. I thought it was a good show, as it created, did some good business, as, a lot of the fans who are the older fans see, the likes of Yumasawas and that nature, which a lot of them, more of the Noah talent, actually. So that's where my thoughts are there. They actually sold a lot of tickets before sale. I mean, they did some of their best business for a New Japan show since 2004, when they had Bob Sapp on there, back when Bob Sapp was, the biggest thing in Japan. So that's my thoughts there. Apparently a new generation's coming, because, they were really into it, and the new wrestling is becoming a fad in Japan again, which is a good thing for the business there. And it's a good thing in a way for New Japan, because they can do stuff from the past and the new fans haven't seen it, so they think this is extremely new. So that's a good thing, but overall, I mean, wrestling isn't what it used to be, as a lot of the hardcore fans in Japan and here know. I mean, WWE is in the same situation as a New Japan or All Japan as a... But anyways, let me get to the review. The first match of the night was a completely rushed match between Milano Collection AT, Minoru, and Taichi Ishikara versus Mitsuhara Hirasawa, Kazuichi Okada, and Nobu Yoshihashi. Really, it was just a completely rushed match when Milano pinned Yoshihashi in 6 minutes. Completely rushed match. Didn't definitely see that. And then we got to the next match, which was Mystico, Raisuke Taguchi, and Prince Devitt versus Averno, Jado, and Guido. To me, this match was to get Mystico over, which was the whole point. He mainly worked with Averno, which I understand why you're doing it. You don't want to have anyone accidentally hurt Mystico, and you want to have someone who knows how to sell Mystico's moves them, unlike Jado and Guido, who have never seen or never worked with Mystico. They've probably seen him but never worked with him. You get my picture. The whole point here was to build up Mystico as someone of relevance to, the biggest luchador ever to come to Japan in Mil Mascaras, and they also built him up as, someone to be like the next Rey Mysterio, the next Mil Mascaras, the next Rey Mysterio, stuff of that nature. I think it also did a good job of just showing, what Mystico can do. They popped really well for the La Mastica, but when he came out, no one really knew who they were, with the exception of the hardcore fans. They knew who he was, but not many people understood who Mystico was, but that was okay. I didn't really expect that. Prince Devitt did a sick somersault plancha over a guardrail. That was below, when the ring is elevated to the floor. I thought that was sick. He could have clearly clipped the back of his head on the guardrail there. Auto, and basically Mystico got the La Mastica on Averno for the pin. So it's good to see that he got a nice showcasing. He's going to get another complete showcasing match as CMLL brings in, I believe, Mephisto and Mystico will have probably another good match, singles match. They've had a lot of... I think Mephisto is someone who's very underrated from the faction between Averno, Mephisto, and Ephisto, and so that's going to be a good thing that they get to showcase their stuff there. And eventually down the line they're building up Mystico, probably a title match with Mystico and now Tiger Mask, because I'm going to spoil something earlier, but since Mystico came out with the CMLL welterweight championship, so I think there could be a title match there as well, a title versus title. We don't know, but I don't know yet, but we'll see. So I thought that was a good match. And then the next match we had Liger's 20th anniversary match at the Dome, since he debuted 20 years ago at the Tokyo Dome along with this show, when he took on he took on him and his partner Takuma Sano, who was one of Liger's major first rivals when he debuted with the Liger gimmick, and they took on Pro Wrestling who's from I should say, in Sano, and they took on Koji Kanemoto and Wadanoa Inoue. Really, I like this match, as you got to show what Liger had to just basically showcase himself and do what he does best. I just felt this match was completely rushed, didn't like that aspect of it. Liger got a good reaction, and he basically got to showcase himself, like I said, but it wasn't it was very unspectacular. And basically, that was the match after Liger got the pin there. I believe he pinned Kanemoto, and then Liger talked that he wants to work in Noah to review his feud with Sano from the very long past. So anyway, that was a disappointing match, but whatever. It was just more for Liger to showcase himself. So anyways, then we went to the next match, which was the IWGP Junior Tag Team Championship matches. No Limit, which was Yujiro and Tetsuya Naito, the Motor City Machine Guns. This one, to me, was a strong match. Both teams got to showcase what they can do, and in the flying department. To me, this was interesting how New Japan would let TNA book a match with their title on the line, even though TNA talent's in there, which goes to show how strong this relationship between TNA and New Japan is getting, if they're going that far to letting the TNA book a match with some of the talent in it, and eventually get the title over there. Apparently, a lot of the fans weren't into this match, as they thought it was too spotty. And I thought, what, the Guns did a pretty good job in here. Pretty entertaining match. No Limit made a strong comeback, and, it got ended quickly as the Guns hit Made in Detroit, which is the Shiranu which is Slice Bread number 2, into a sit-out powerbomb, and now they're the champions. Then the next match was Tiger Mask versus Loki for the IWGP Junior title. To me, this match should have gone a lot longer than it did. It had a big type feel build to it with the video package, and if you'd followed the past with how this feud got there, with how Loki made his debut, he beat down Tiger Mask, took the title with hitting the Key Crusher. Then you got him having, basically, he just keeps calling out Tiger Mask, and he wants to end all the legacy of Tiger Mask, so that's where it was going there. To me, one thing I didn't like about this match was the second move Loki hits in this match is the Key Crusher, and it's a kick out. Come on. I don't mind you kicking out of someone's finish, but the second move in the match, that was just, if you don't mind me saying, but, really, though, it was a disappointing match because it was rushed like a lot of the stuff was on this show, which I don't understand. I understand you wanted to give the main event time, but some of these matches you should have, given a little bit more time. This one was disappointing in a way, as the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship belt is one of the most important belts in Japan for, the history, and it didn't get the showcasing it needed there. He just kept hitting these Key Crushers. Tiger Mask get a nice tombstone pile driver on the entrance ramp, and Tiger Mask got the win with like this German suplex with a pump handle variation to it. So that was the match there. Very disappointing. I was disappointed with how this one should have gone, because I thought both guys could have brought it, and you know, it was clear here that Loki was gonna leave, as he had been making the tryout with on Raw. He had to finish up his dates with New Japan, drops the belt to Tiger Mask, and now he signs with the WWE after he had a FCW taping, and the big story here is he's going to have a mask and feud with Rey Mysterio. As I predicted a long time ago in one of my videos, I said that he's going to probably come in with like a Kwang-type martial art gimmick. Hopefully he doesn't spray the mist like Kwang, but he's going to come in with that kind of gimmick. And, you know, feud with Rey Mysterio. And I think down the line, you know, can do an Evan Bourne feud, so, and a Kofi Kingston feud. So maybe WWE can get, you know, a junior heavyweight division or cruiserweight division going for, you know, a bit of time. I don't think they'll showcase it at all. I mean, hell, they've had it twice or 3 times at least in their company, and they never care that much about it. So that's just me. Anyways, then we went to the next match, which was Angle, Kevin Nash, Masahiro Chono, and Riki Choshu versus Giant Bernard, Takashi Ikizuka, Tomohiro Ishii, and Carl the Machine Gun Anderson. Basically this was just so, you know, Chono wanted to try and revive the old NWO gimmick, which you could tell that Riki Choshu, even though he's not the booker, is not a big fan of this. One of the things interesting was when Choshu's music played, Choshu and Chono's music played, I should say, the fans really didn't know who it was. I mean, I know it's a, you know, a generation that really didn't watch the old days of New Japan, the glory days, and wouldn't understand who it is. But when they saw him, he got a big pop. Him and Chono got big pops, you know, bigger than Liger. Liger got a pretty disappointing pop for someone in a pretty important match. Still, they got to showcase what they could do. Choshu, for being 57 years old, actually put on a pretty good pace there. I liked how they actually kind of showcased the tall Kevin Nash versus, you know, the big giant Bernard. I gotta say, Matt Bloom, if you remember him when he was a Prince Albert, when he made his debut in 1999 with the WWF, I didn't think he'd be this good, and he's pretty strong there. And the Legends team gets the win with Chono getting an STF, Choshu with the Deathlock, and Kurt Angle gets the ankle lock on Carl the Machine Gun Anderson, who looks like he may be out of New Japan and go back to PWG or something of that nature, the independent scene, as he got 0 offense in. So that's where I'm going there. And then after the match, you had a spike pile driver, or, you know, a tombstone type pile driver-ish move by Giant Bernard and Kurt Angle to sell the. That set up a rematch for the February show at Sumo Hall with Kurt Angle versus Giant Bernard. Anyways, then we go to the next match, which was for the 0-1 World Heavyweight Championship, as Yuji Nagata, who is Mr. New Japan, defended it up against, you know, Mr. 0-1 in Masato Tanaka. This was a great match, had great heat. These guys were stiffing the hell out of each other. Nagata took a sick chair shot that Tanaka threw at him, and it blew the seat out of the chair. That looked very vicious. There was a lot of, you know, some big, stiff action here. I liked it a lot. Both guys were bleeding pretty hard. And the finish came, I believe, when there was two belly-to-back suplexes or something of that. I believe it was 2 belly-to-backs. I can't remember off the top of my head here. Yeah, 2 belly-to-back suplexes, and Nagata got the win. So, big match there. Tough break for Tanaka not getting the win. And for those of you wondering why it said the AWA belt on the 0-1 belt, Masato Tanaka was the AWA World Champion back when 0-1 was affiliated with the upstart AWA, not AWA. It's an upstart by an outlaw who I can't remember his name. I believe his first name is Dale. Dale, I think, is the name of him, who, you know, he just recently had a lawsuit saying he had to drop the name from the WWE as they own the whole licensing there. And then anyways, Tanaka and 0-1 left that AWA to go back to 0-1. That AWA, the Dale Oliver one, put the AWA World title on Larry Zbyszko. So, and if that's what you're wondering, I thought that was a good match though. Big stiff stuff. Not as good as their match from New Japan's Destruction show back in October, but really good match. Then we got to the next match, which was Yu Nakayama versus Manabu Nakanishi. Really, this match to me, it was disappointing in the aspect of how much build there was. As you know, both guys were, you know, roommates when they went to college on the wrestling team, and they were in a match to see who's going to be in the finals of the Japan 1992 wrestling team for the Olympics, which Nakanishi won. Then after that, Akiyama turned pro. He got pro wrestling. He became a star very quick. And Nakanishi, after the Olympics, came back, and he didn't get it as well. He's developed now, but still, this was a disappointing match. To me, it was pretty obvious that Akiyama would get the win, as he, on March the 1st, is going to challenge Kensuke Sasaki for the GHC Heavyweight Championship with Pro Wrestling Noah. So they had to do it that way, and apparently down the line they're going to have Akiyama do a job for Manabu Nakanishi to set up a rematch. Anyways, I thought this match was disappointing. As a lot of the stuff in this card kind of was disappointing, but I mean, Nakanishi did a nice dive to the floor, which I didn't think he could do. I mean, it felt rushed, as they were just trying to build up Akiyama there. They just wanted to get it over with. I don't know why they felt like rushing a lot of the stuff, as I just want to say. This could have been a main event on a show from Budokan, but I don't know. They just felt like rushing it, and Akiyama got the win. Then we went to the next match, which was the worst match on the show, but when you compare it to Wrestle Kingdom 2, much better than what the match these teams had. It was for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships, as it was the MVP Most Violent Players in Togi Makabe and Toru Yano versus Team 3D. Really, this was a hardcore match. This match definitely suffered due to the fact it was supposed to be a triple threat with Kojima and Tenzin in here, but Tenzin had, a detached retina, so he had to be rushed to the hospital, and he was thrown from here. This match was just black. Don't have chemistry. Some of the hardcore stuff they did was not really that good. I didn't think it was as bad as people are making it out to be, but still, they just don't gel well. The funny part of the match was when you had Bubba Ray do like a exploder from the middle rope, and Devon went for the headbutt off the top, but he obviously slipped off the top, and he completely missed Makabe, so that was just interesting there. And the finish came when you had Makabe with the chain around his arm, and he went for a forearm smash and missed, and he got hit with the 3D, and Team 3D are the champions. They're supposed to come back to New Japan, and I believe in February as well, but that's just that. Anyways, then we go to the next match, which got the biggest reaction. It was the best match on the show. It was the new generation of Puro versus the old generation of Puro, whatever you want to call it. It was Shinsuke Nakamura and Hiroki Goto versus Mitsuharu Sawa and Takashi Sugiura. Really strong match. I mean, both teams went out there right off the start. Goto with, a nice spin kick. He had things rolling there. He went for like a Chris Jericho dive where you spring off the one rope and go over the other side, but he kind of slipped and botched up, which did suck a bit, but the crowd went crazy when Masao came out, so goes to show that a lot of the hardcore fans were there, and, the newer fans know who these people are, and they know they're legends, so that's where I'm going to go with that. Really strong match. Apparently they're going to try and do a rematch down the line here. I just thought this was an excellent match, whereas they're trying to do a match here with, as well, Nakamura versus Masao, which I think will do extremely well. One of the things that you're going to probably see more of is Pro Wrestling Noah work more with New Japan, as they're about to lose their deal, so they're going to have to get some more exposure on these shows, and both Pro Wrestling Noah, All Japan, and New Japan, they're trying not to hurt each other, trying to help the pro wrestling business grow as it's starting to become popular, stuff along that nature. And you had Nakamura get the win with Nakamura got the pinfall on Sugiura. Anyways, then you went to the main event, which was Hiroshi Tanahashi and Keiji Moto. This match had been built up for quite some time, and I believe would have helped lead to the strong pre-ticket sales for this Dome show. In this match, I like this match how they were both working the knees. Where you had Tanahashi start doing the dragon screw leg whips on Muto, I should say, and then both Muto would do it on to Tanahashi. Some very innovative leg whips for him, and then you had both guys get hurt from hitting their big finishing moves. You had Muto do 3 figure fours. He hit multiple Shining Wizards, and Tanahashi got the win after hitting the fourth high flow for the win, which is just a super frog splash, I should say. And Tanahashi becomes the 50th IWGP Heavyweight Champion. He sets up a rematch from Wrestle Kingdom 2's main event with Shinsuke Nakamura. Overall, I thought it was a good show, but a lot of it felt rushed, so I definitely can't give it that high of a rating. It gets a thumbs up, but anyways, that's it for me. I'm out. Peace.